What's up, everybody? I have Kelly Stacy with me today. And Kelly, can you just quickly introduce yourself and what exactly is your business and what you do for the audience?
Sure. So I'm Kelly Stacy, and I'm a business consultant and advisor for founders and entrepreneurs of CPG brands. I have over 20 years of experience working with brands, and I've worked with over 300 brands in my career on the brand side of working as an executive. And I've started to actually work as an independent consultant to help brands that can't necessarily afford a full-time investment, but they need access to the knowledge that I have from running and leading so many brands.
And are you not going to tell them about your biggest case study?
Oh, Vicks. So yeah, that's really important. So I worked with Vicks swimwear, Vicks Paolo Hermani for over 15 years, and we grew that brand from 0 to 35 million. And really, really proud of that. And a really complex business model because it wasn't, we were multinational, we had operations, they still have operations in Brazil, our own manufacturer, our own design center, as well as a brick and mortar, direct to consumer and a wholesale business. So it was definitely a great case study and end to end managing from concept to delivery. So I worked across the entire business. And when I left, I was the president of the company. Really proud of that.
I know this.
Thanks for reminding me. I talk about it.
Honestly, from the first day you told me about it, I was like, wow, this is so incredible to take a company from 0 to 35 million. That's incredible. So it's something I don't think I can ever forget.
A lot of gray hair from that, but it was worth it. So
Okay, so what did your LinkedIn presence look like, before working with me? Can you just go through that?
yeah, so I was posting. I mean, I think I have a pretty compelling profile as far as my career experience when you kind of breeze through. But I was posting content because I have a YouTube video. I was posting based on, I'm not a copywriter, but I have, great content, I think. And so I was kind of posting based on, my expertise, and I wasn't getting a ton of engagement. I was, getting a couple people that knew me, liked me, but it wasn't really getting out there to more of the masses. And I was spending a ton of time really creating this content and kind of second guessing, should I say this? Should I say that? And so I feel like I was spending a lot of time, energy, and not getting the results.
Yeah. So what would you say initially made you skeptical about hiring someone to write content for you and post content for you and things?
The main thing was I didn't want it to not feel like it was me. I wanted to make sure it was very much on brand. They were my ideas. I wanted to keep it as authentic as possible. And so my thought of outsourcing it was, oh, it's not going to sound like me. And I don't want to create a brand around something that's not true to who I really am. So that was my biggest fear. And was it going to represent me well? And was it going to be a great collaboration and a simple collaboration so that you could still use my brand and I could, validate everything, but it wasn't like I lost my brand in the process of building my profile.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, a lot of people actually go through that. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
You can get someone to write something that, could ruin your reputation. And the thing is obviously on LinkedIn, you have connects with people that you've worked with in person and things, and they might see that post and they'd be like, whoa, how can Kelly say something like this? Or Kelly's unprofessional because she's making these spelling mistakes in a post and things. So I think that's a very big, stress for some people. Now, if anyone is watching, I just want you to go through the experience, what it was working with me.
Well, first of all, it's great that your English is so good. It's very easy to communicate with you. And I think that's a really important piece because even though people speak languages, sometimes culturally there can be a gap and a disconnect as to how you're trying to express yourself in any language. So that was a big upside. I also immediately trusted you because you created a post for me and said, hey, I created this post for you. You can use it, which showed me sort of a little bit of proof of concept of, wow, he actually gets me. So you spent time on my profile, you spent time kind of looking through my content, and you took the time to write a post and actually put a video and kind of explain it to me in a very simple way. So that I was like, well, this is a different sort of engagement than what I'm used to when people reach out to me on LinkedIn. And then when we started working together, what was great is the tools that you kind of set up made it easy for me to kind of collaborate with you back and forth. And you were giving me also, taking things from what I've done and saying, how about if you could, give me some information on this or on that, and things that you knew were already in my wheelhouse, but you were kind of pulling out more content, things that I like what I've done for 15 years, things that I take for granted that I don't even know I can really be talking about. So it was sort of having someone that could see me from the outside and see some of the bright lights that I'd sort of forgotten about. But it was really easy. I mean, you would literally provide, here's some content ideas, and I was able to kind of put my 2 cents in, and then I came back and I thought I could never have written it that way, and it's better than I ever could have written. And so I was able to go back to what I'm doing, which is supporting my clients, and not just be heads down trying to create content that's not really resonating with, with the LinkedIn followers, my LinkedIn followers, or LinkedIn period.
Yeah, no, I actually really appreciate the compliment on my English. And I think one of the biggest factors to that was like when I was a kid, my mom would force me to read like books and novels like every night before I would sleep for 20, 30 minutes. Like from the time I was like 12, 13, 14, like I was reading like high level novels. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why my English is so good. And also like when it comes to writing, like my spelling is always good. Like my friends
Yes.
always ask me how to spell words and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest reason.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing, especially when you're working with someone who's not in the United States. I mean, it's really important to be able to communicate and express yourself. It's all the things that are not said that are important. And you immediately understood me, you understood my brand, and you prepared for that before the meeting. So the onboarding was so fast because it was like, boom, we hit the ground running. And that was the best part. It didn't take a lot of my time to trust you,
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to show you some wins of having Yaya actually managing my LinkedIn post. He did a tremendous job. I could see a huge increase and the content performance. The overall content performance went way up when I started working with him, which was pretty exciting. You can see that right here. And even in this view is actually even a better view because you can see from the post that he was posting the consistent increase in impressions. I mean, you can just see it going up, up, up. And on top of that, I could also see an increase in followers. So you can see my followers also went way up, and they were right in my target audience, which is founders, chief executive owners, officers, owners, co-founders, and presidents. So it was exactly in my target audience, which was really exciting to see, as well as I could see the different companies that were reaching out. So these are also target potential clients. So really, really exciting what he was able to accomplish with my LinkedIn, and really excited I found him because honestly, I think my content was good, but it wasn't getting the engagement that it's getting now. My comments went way up, my likes went way up. So really, really excited to be working with him and can't wait to see what else he can do with my business. Thanks.
100%. So how would you say like your improved LinkedIn presence impacted your business?
Well, definitely I was receiving so many more connects from real industry people that I know are actually people that make sense for me in a business and my professional life. I mean, I've gotten connects from tons of people because of what I do, but also I'm just thinking more direct contacts of potential brands that I can work with. That's a big piece. And then my impressions went up, and I noticed that because I would look at it and think, okay, maybe it's like 50 impressions. I spend so much time of that for 50. When I know what impression is just kind of feeding through, it was really depressing. And then to see those consistently going up, I was like, wow. And then I did have one industry friends. I had a call with someone and they said, wow, I love your LinkedIn content. And I was like, oh, that's never happened. So it was, yeah, they really were like, I love that post that you posted. And they responded. And I've had people not just respond, but put healthy responses. Like they were really, they were compelled to spend time writing out responses. And so that to me was the biggest sort of surprise, not surprise. I hoped it would happen, but it happened pretty quickly because it's just sort of like, I think LinkedIn recognizes you when you create great content. So
Yeah, because that's the algorithm. I mean, like if you look at any social
yeah.
media, the better content you put out, and it tracks like, like how long people watch your posts, how long people stay on your posts, how often people engage, and the more people do it, then the algorithm just pushes your content more. So you mentioned surprising. So like what exactly surprised you most about the results that you've gotten through LinkedIn?
Just that it happened so quickly, because I thought even on my Instagram, it took me time to build. And I feel on LinkedIn, with the right content and with the right hooks and things that I'm just not savvy in, I feel like it started to just all of a sudden I could see that my content was being seen. And and that I was getting more connects and I was getting more impressions and I was getting more feedback. And, it was really exciting to see that so quickly, because I just assumed, because we know it could take 30, 60, 90 days in most scenarios to see results in any business. So my expectation was that. And then when it started happening within a couple of posts, and I'm not saying it would happen for everyone, but I was really, really happy. I was like, okay, immediately I thought this is a great investment. This is working. And I felt more confident about being on LinkedIn, because all my colleagues are looking at these, and it's just it's elevating me as a thought leader. So that was really cool too.
Yeah. And like what's important to note is like, for example, Instagram, like you can post content, but a lot of people that will see your content is like not business owners or people who will never work with you. But on the other end, LinkedIn is literally a networking platform for business owners. So you need to impress other business owners, and there's a lot of bigger business owners. So when you have that content, it definitely helps you a lot and makes you more confident, because when you send a connect, someone's clicking on your profile, they're seeing the post you're making, they're going through your profile. And if they see that you have good content and you know what you're talking about and you have this authority, then they obviously respect you, and then that leads to a connect, and then you're networking with bigger business owners. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So for someone who's currently spending hours trying to manage their LinkedIn presence, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to work with you, because I think ultimately, if that's your goal, if your goal is to build on LinkedIn, which I think it's the right goal, if you're B2B, if you're a consultant, a coach, whatever, if you're a business that does business with other businesses, then it's really important to build your LinkedIn profile and build your LinkedIn presence. And the hours and the time to become a LinkedIn expert, it's just the ROI on hiring someone like you is it just makes so much sense. Because if you're spending that time, you're probably not spending it on other pieces that can drive revenue in your business. It's just nice to know that that's on autopilot. And so it's a matter of, this is what I tell my clients: decide what you want to do in your business, and then bring in experts to do the things you're not good at. And this would be no different, you know?
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate everything you said. And, it was amazing working with you. And yeah, thank you for everything.
Yes. Love working with you. Yes, of course.
Awesome.
That's awesome.